nay city, shrouded in fog and biting cold, lived a man named Ebenezer Scrooge. He was fabulously wealthy, but his heart was as cold as the winter air. Kindness was a language he didn't speak, and joy was a foolish notion he couldn't stand. To him, Christmas wasn't a season of cheer. It was just an excuse for people to be lazy and waste money. Scrooge was a solitary figure, whose only companion, the vast, empty darkness of his sprawling house. Every year, as the city came alive with twinkling lights, warm laughter, and festive carols, a dark cloud of irritation would settle over Scrooge. Bah! Humbug! He'd grumble at anyone who dared to wish him a Merry Christmas. On one particular Christmas Eve, his gentle clerk, Bob Cratchit, nervously asked for the holiday off to be with his family. Scrooge grudgingly agreed, but not without a stern warning to be back at his desk extra early the day after. Later that evening, two gentlemen collecting for the poor knocked on his office door. Scrooge sent them away with a cruel refusal, declaring that the poor were no concern of his. With his office locked up tight, he trudged home through the frosty streets, alone with his bitter thoughts. But that night, something extraordinary was about to happen. As Scrooge settled in for the evening, a chilling sound echoed through his home, the ghostly clanking of heavy chains. Suddenly, a figure materialized before him, the ghost of his old business partner, Jacob Marley. Marley was a horrifying sight, bound in chains made of ledgers, keys, and cash boxes, the very symbols of his greedy life. "I wear the chain I forged in life," Marley moaned, his voice filled with eternal regret. "I made it link by link, and yard by yard." He warned Scrooge that a similar, even heavier chain awaited him, but there was still a chance to escape this dreadful fate. 3 spirits, Marley explained, would visit him that night. Their visits were his only hope for salvation. Terrified, Scrooge barely registered the warning before he stumbled into bed, his mind reeling. As the clock struck 1, a soft, gentle light filled the room. The first visitor had arrived. The spirit of Christmas passed. It looked like a flickering candle, its glow illuminating scenes from Scrooge's own history. The spirit whisked him back in time, forcing him to witness the lonely boy he once was. Left behind at school while other children celebrated with their families, he saw the moments of joy he'd pushed away, the relationships he'd fractured, and the heartbreaking moment he chose the cold allure of gold over the warmth of love. A profound sense of regret washed over Scrooge, and for the first time in decades, tears welled in his eyes. Next came the spirit of Christmas present, a giant, jolly figure radiating warmth and life. Surrounded by a feast of festive foods, this spirit showed Scrooge how others celebrated Christmas, not with riches, but with an abundance of love. They journeyed to the humble home of Bob Cratchit, which, despite its poverty, was overflowing with warmth and happiness. There, Scrooge saw Bob's young son, Tiny Tim, a frail but incredibly kind-hearted boy. The spirit's voice turned solemn as he warned, "I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die." For the first time, Scrooge felt a pang of genuine concern for another human being. The thought shook him to his core. Finally, the most frightening spectre appeared, the spirit of Christmas yet to come. Said, it was a tall, silent figure, cloaked in black, its presence casting a terrifying shadow over everything. Without a word, it showed Scrooge a dark and desolate future. He overheard conversations about a recently deceased man, spoken of with cold indifference and even relief. No one mourned his passing. Instead, his belongings were being stolen and sold off for scraps. The spirit then led Scrooge to a neglected churchyard and pointed a bony finger toward a gravestone. Trembling, Scrooge looked down and read the name etched into the cold stone. Ebenezer Scrooge. Overwhelmed by terror and grief, he fell to his knees, sobbing. "I am not the man I was," he cried out to the silent spirit. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. We'll live in the past, the present, and the future. He awoke with a start, finding himself safe in his own bed. Sunlight streamed through the window, and the sounds of joyous bells filled the air. It was Christmas morning. He was alive. Laughing with pure, unadulterated joy, Scrooge leaped out of bed, a changed man. He threw open his windows, wishing a Merry Christmas to everyone he saw. He bought the biggest turkey in the butcher's shop and had it sent to the Cratchit family. He gave a generous donation to the gentleman he had turned away the day before and promised to help Bob Says family and nurse Tiny Tim back to health. From that day forward, Ebenezer Scrooge was a new man. He was known for his generosity, his infectious laugh, and his kind heart. As the story goes, he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more.